you? It's Josh here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new update video. Now today we have something very special, okay? This is probably the biggest update ever actually added in Theme Park Tycoon 2, and that's not a joke. I'm honestly so excited for this update. It has completely changed so much about the game. Not only can we basically just build anything now thanks to the resize, but we can also get more out of our megabyte thanks to the bigger blocks. And there's also a ton more things that have been added in this update, so let's just get straight into it. So probably the biggest part of this update is of course the brand new scaling tool. So now for example, if we go into our primitives tab right here and just grab this square, we can actually resize this to whatever we want. Yeah, that's right, we can actually scale this to whatever size, which means that I can make this absolutely huge block right here, and this is all one primitive. Now this is incredible, not just because we can resize anything to any single size we want, including an even smaller size on stuff like this right here, where we can literally make it to any size we want. I mean, look how thin this is. But this is also really great because that means that this entire block right here, this is all one primitive technically, which means it takes up less MB space. Now, although this isn't proven and I'm not actually sure how this completely works, I'll be doing a video at some point after I've got into contact with Dennis and spoken to him a little bit about how this all works in particular. But it's safe to say that this does save some MB. I've tried this out on RCX, which had 2 megabytes out of 2 megabytes, and I managed to lower it down to 1.98 megabytes with just a little bit of work. And I reckon if I did the entire of RCX, I'd get it down to at least 1.9, maybe 1.8 megabytes, just because that has a lot of flat spaces, which is crazy. This update is literally almost a megabyte raise, in fact. Now, of course, this doesn't work on everything yet, but it does work on a lot of the props right here. So, for example, these barrels we can now make smaller and stuff. Oh, obviously, a lot of these barrels before were a ridiculous scale. They were like the size of a person, well, maybe not that big, but you know. They were like a size of a person, which is ridiculous, and now we can actually make them a good size. So yeah, you can see why me and a lot of other people are very excited about this. But our next thing right here is the brand new monorail. Yes, that's right, we finally gotten a new monorail, and well, do I really like it? I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this new monorail. I mean, it's not bad, it's a new monorail. I'm glad that we've got a new monorail, but is it really what I and a lot of people were excited for? I don't think it is really. This monorail that Dennis has added reminds me more of a metro or like an airlink sort of thing that you find at airports. Not an actual monorail, it's more boxy and square and like those that I was talking about just before. So I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of this, honestly. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, and it's a really nice model still. It's just not what me and a lot of people were looking for. I'll put a photo up on screen of what I'm talking about, what I was hoping for, with the very classic monorail that you see at places like Alton Towers, Disneyland, places like that, you know. I do want to just point out though, this has some really nice animations with the doors actually opening and closing, which is something that we really needed from the old monorail, of course. It is really nice still, don't get me wrong. I really love this monorail. I just feel like it could have been better. Okay, well, let's just clean that up and get on to the next thing. So something that I am super excited for, and I'm sure a lot of people will be excited for, is some new glass. I swear we've been asking for some new glass for literally years and years. So we've finally got some new glass right here. We've got an angled piece of glass right here and a normal piece of glass, but the thing that's great is this also works with the scaling tool. Now, it's good to point out that the original glass panel does not work with the scaling tool, sadly, but this one does, which is great, because that means we can change it to whatever scale we want now. Oh my god, that's amazing, because before you would have overlapping with glass everywhere if you wanted to actually fill in some areas, and it was really annoying. So I am so happy that we've got these, especially this piece right here. This is gonna come in so much use. So once again, a great addition. I love it. And this must be the update of things that we all wanted, because we've also now got an option to change how many trains you can have. This is another feature that I've been asking for about 2 years or so now, and it is so good. So if I make myself a little coaster right here, I'm just gonna make a very long station just so I can show you right here. So now you can see that we've got a train count and train length option. So you can see here, if we have 7 trains, obviously I can't add another one because it can't fit, but if I just lower this down to, I think, maybe 5 or so, we can now add 2. But what's great is if we only want 1, we can only have 1. And if I go down to 1, you can see that I can have all the way up to 5 trains. I can also do that on 2 as well, I think, actually, yeah. So we can have literally 5 trains or 3 trains, 1 train, or whatever amount of trains that we want. We don't have to worry about block breaks now influencing the amount of trains that we have, which means that we can be a lot more custom with where we put our block breaks and a lot more realistic, while also still having a realistic amount of trains. Now, the next one right here actually requires me to restart the game, so 1 second. Okay, so here we are. We're on Theme Park Tycoon 2 site right here, and if I join my private server right here, you're going to notice something new. So if we just load in right here onto the server, once we actually join the game, you'll notice that it doesn't come up with the normal screen as usual. It actually comes up with... There we go. You can see this is the brand new menu that we now get in Theme Park Tycoon 2 once you join a private server with a certain option enabled. Now, this is really exciting and interesting, which I'll talk about very, very soon. But first of all, what you can now do is actually choose which location you're on. I swear this update is made for RCX. But this is so good because now if you want to have double plots like I'm going to be doing in 𝗬𝗂𝗽𝗀𝗀 or like I do in RCX, it is now possible to line them up without spending 10 minutes lining them up. It is going to be so easy to do because you could just choose where they are. So if I now want to go into location 6, I can do so. I can just click continue and we're over here now. Now, if you want to enable this feature for yourself, all you need to do is go into your private server settings and you can turn it on here. Now, sadly, this is only available for private servers, although maybe it'll be added into public servers eventually. I honestly don't know. But the one thing that I did want to show you, I actually have to restart the game again. Okay, so we're back to this menu right now, and I want to just show you something. So the keen-eyed among you may have noticed when we clicked automatic, it actually came up with no location. Now, if you actually choose this right here and click continue, you just get assigned no plot. As you can see, I have 0 amount of guests, 0 amount of money. I have no park, which this is actually super interesting, and I'll tell you why. Now, for a very, very long time, I and a lot of other people have wanted to have higher than 6-player servers. For example, an event like RCX, imagine having 50 people walk around RCX. 50 real people actually exploring around the park. That would bring so much life to your park. So what I think is actually going to happen right here is 𝗬𝗏 is going to add more than 6-player servers. I'm guessing in the next couple updates, we're going to see an update where you'll be able to join the game even if all the plots are full and still look around like this, which will be absolutely amazing. I mean, it's one of the only reasons I can see that this has actually been added in. Now, some people have suggested maybe this is just to, you know, reduce lag. You know, if you don't need to load in a park, you don't load in a park. But I don't think that's it. I don't see why there'd be really any point in doing this because you can just load in an empty park, really. And I don't think this would really reduce lag, or 𝗬𝗏 is really thinking or caring too much about that. So I think we might be getting higher than 6-player servers, which I'm super excited for. That is going to just completely change the game and just bring everyone's park to life when you can actually open it up properly. So fingers crossed that happens, but of course that hasn't been added yet, so who knows. So we actually have a couple last little features right here. So as you can see from our changelog right here, we now have updated various icons. The hide UI command will now also hide non-UI related tooltips. And of course, as usual, there's been some UI adjustments, internal changes, blah, 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 who cares? But yeah, that's pretty much it for this update. Tell me what you think down below in the comments. I absolutely love this, and I honestly think this may be the biggest update we've had since Precision Build Mode. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'd love to hear. And of course, as usual, here's all the members on the screen. Thank you all so much for supporting me, guys. If you haven't already, consider leaving a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But except from that, I'll see you all in another video. Goodbye!